Welcome to the Online Fitness Coach Money Mastery. In today's video, I'm going to be helping online fitness coaches to make more money and also to master their money, because I think that something that is very, very overlooked in this industry is everyone talks about let's earn more money, let's get more cash in, but they don't know how to manage their cash. And it's all good and well hitting these cool PB months, but if you look at your bank account at the end of every single month and it's like crickets, that's no fun for anyone. So today I'm going to help you to make money and to keep money. So you're going to learn how to manage your money, all right? So strap in. First things first, growth is vanity and profit is sanity. What does this mean? I have friends in the coaching industry who have hit 100K months from online fitness coaching, which I know when you say out loud, a lot of people don't believe me. Feel free to drop me a DM and I'll send you to their Instagrams, okay? Now, for a lot of these guys and girls, their gross will be shared on Instagram because it looks cool. When you look at their profit is close to 30K. Now 30K is nothing to be scoffed at, but you have to really, really understand what is it that you want from your business. Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be an operator? Do you want to just handle the business? Do you want to just handle the delivery? Only you can decide that, okay? But always understand that gross is vanity and profit is sanity. I've actually spoken on multiple discovery calls with online fitness coaches who are hitting 4, 5, 6K per month. And I think, great. Then they tell me their expenses. We look there and suddenly we realize you're not making much money at all because you've never been taught how to manage your money. And this video is going to talk you through exactly how you can begin to do that. Okay? So, if you're hitting a 10K month, but you're spending 7 grand, you're essentially doing a 3K month. So let's get a little bit deeper into this. You need to know your business, your numbers, your expenses, and your projections. Okay? An easy way to do this, if you're not using Stripe, you should be using Stripe. You should be every quarter looking back, assessing what went well, what didn't go so well, what do we need to change, what are our projections, what are our numbers within our business. Incoming, outgoing, even things such as Stripe fees, how much you're paying for photography, videography, systems, automations, mentoring, coaching, all these different things are going to add up, okay? Now, 10% growth in 12 months whilst being employed by a company is pretty wild, right? So let's say you are employed by a company and, 1 year you're earning 3 grand a month, and then out of the blue they go, you know what, we're actually going to bump you up to 3.3K per month. All of the employees would be absolutely ecstatic, but you're here because you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you want to do far better than that. So let's say we go 4 times that growth, okay, 4 times. Let's say we're going to grow at 40% average rate, which is pretty fucking good going if you ask me, right? Now, a lot of online fitness coaches, they'll hear that and they'll go, oh, well, I'd rather go from 5 to 10K, or I'd rather go from 10 to 20K. Look, I get it. It's shiny, it's sexy, it's cool. But let me just show you something real quick to help you change your perspective, to understand that you're not in a sprint and that slow and steady wins a race. So if you were to grow a £5,000 per month online fitness business at a 40% growth rate, if you were to do that for 5 years, at the 5-year mark, you'd be turning over almost $250,000 per year. Okay, you go from 5K months to almost $250,000 per year. How incredible is that? Now, in 10 years of doing that, so let's say you're watching this video right now and you are, 28 years old. Before the age of 40, you'll be earning £1.2 million per year from your online fitness business if you were to be averaging at a 40% growth rate. Now, to give you some context on this, a lot of our CEO clients at the moment, because we focus on longevity, we focus on building systems, and we help them to create their dream lives, are growing at a rate of 70, 80, 90. A lot of them have actually grown at a 200% growth rate. Now, suddenly think about what those numbers will look like for some of these guys in 5 years from now. But it's because they play the long game and they understand that ultimately gross is vanity and profit is sanity, okay? So 10 years of consistent 40% growth could give you 1.2 million per year. That would essentially mean if you add all of these numbers up, your online fitness business would have made over £4 million in the next 10 years if you're growing at that consistent rate. Pretty cool, eh? So, I even broke it down on the following side. But how do you keep as much of this as possible and make this money make money? I'm going to break that down for you. Now, the first thing should be obvious. If you guys haven't done this yet, I'd definitely go and do this, and that is to hire a good accountant. Later on down the line, I would advise a financial advisor. I do think that Financial advisors are probably something that everyone can find benefit in personally, but that's going to be something that comes a little bit later on down the line, depending on what level you're at within your own online fitness coaching business right now. Okay. You also want to build a trampoline fund. Okay, a year's safety net of personal funds. The reason this is beneficial is because your client's going to leave you. You're going to have drop-offs. You're going to have bad months. It's going to happen. I've never met an entrepreneur, business owner, an online fitness coach that has been in business for over a few years and hasn't had at least a bad quarter. When I say a bad quarter, I'm talking 3 months. That can very much happen. A lot of people lose their heads over a bad week or even one bad month. Okay? You can have bad quarters. So understand that you need to have a trampoline fund, okay? Once and only once you have years expensive save, then you want to start investing in things like ISAs, ICAs, pensions. Again, there are obviously certain limits to what you can invest in these. I'm not a financial advisor. My job here is not to give you all the financial advice, okay? However, do understand that you cannot put an infinite amount of money into all of these different places. There are certain caps, and you will pay capital gains tax on a certain bracket. And again, I'm not here to be a financial advisor. I'm just here because you guys are online fitness coaches to give you a bit more of an understanding of what you could be doing with your money, is investing it wisely into these different areas. Okay. Do understand though, when you invest into a pension, if you're based in the UK, you're going to save on tax from investing into your pension. However, that's locked away. You can't just, I'm going to put 10 grand in and then take 10 grand out. It doesn't work like that. Okay, as it says here, investing in pensions saves you tax and will aid you when you retire immensely. Pensions are to bring tax down. Remember, your money is locked away when you invest in. So do bear that in mind. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Also, respect and understand risk and luck and hedge your bets. What do I mean by hedge your bets? Now, think of it this way, right? If we were to look at an online fitness coach who is looking to invest some money into a particular area, right? What do you think would be a better investment for that coach? What a better investment for that coach who's just starting out in their investing journey? Maybe you're sat here in your 20s and thinking, right, I've got a little bit of cash, where should I put it? A lot of coaches would be like, right, let me go to crypto. Let me think about property. Let me go into the S&P 500. Great. But I personally think you should be investing into S&P 500 first. What I mean by the S&P 500 is something that someone can never take away from you is your skill sets, okay? Your skill sets and your experience. If you become a better coach, if you understand marketing, if you create better content, if you have more compelling offers, if you understand how to run and grow a far greater Instagram page and actually get more clients in the doors that are paying you more money, which means you can earn more money, you then got more money to then continue to reinvest. That's why, for me, if you went back to 2017, I'm recording this in 2025, but if you went back 8 years, the first investments that I ever made for years and years and years and years and years on repeat were into my own education. Hiring a coach that was where I wanted to be, hiring a mentor that was where I wanted to be, and really just making sure I'm listening to them, I'm absorbing the information, I'm following the plan, and the way that I hedged my bets is that I gave myself non-negotiables to help my money to make more money. Right, if I'm going to pay this mentor, I can't ghost him. Because ultimately, if you're going to pay money and ghost people, then you may as well buy Tinder Premium and just go ghost people on that. It's basically the same thing. Do not hire a coach or a mentor and just go ghost on them. Follow the plan, watch the trainings, attend the webinars, complete the check-ins, ask the questions, hedge your bets. A good mentor will make it nearly impossible for you to not make a return on investment as long as you do your bit. That's what good mentoring is, okay? Next thing, do you have a credit card? Now, if you do have a credit card, great. Is that for investment or liability? Let me give an example. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just telling you what I've done. I do have a credit card. I've been using it for a few years. I pay it off every single month by direct debit. So it's technically impossible for me to not make that. I just check how much money I have in my current account. I then check how much I'm paying out on this credit card. As long as my credit card doesn't go over what I've got in my current account, we're good. So obviously we keep an eye on that. And I've never run into any issues with it. The way that people run into issues is that they don't set up a direct debit and therefore they can shaft themselves. I don't want you guys to get into debt. That's not fun. However, and this is something that you won't be taught in school, we need to leverage that, okay? What I mean by that is, if you're paying for mentoring, if you're paying for flights, if you're paying for Airbnbs, if you're paying for hotels, all of these different things, if you put that on a credit card, increase your credit rating. If you're using a credit card such as, American Express, British Airways card, for example, I've actually got a guide on this. If you want the guide, drop me a message on DM, or I'll see if I can attach the guide somewhere in this video in the comments below. That breaks down exactly how you can actually use credit cards to your advantage to earn more money. And as it stands, from doing that, I've been able to get an absolute plethora of benefits. You know, cheap hotels, cheap flights, free upgrades, just from actually, you know, leveraging those cards. So cool. And as it says on here, if you want to DM me on Insta for the Credit Card Bible, that's essentially meant that I can fly for free in 2025 with that Credit Card Bible that I can give you guys for free. So again, drop me a message drop me a DM on Instagram, and I'll send it straight across to you. Cool. Now understand that money is your responsibility. Okay, every money goal needs a plan. So let's say you're watching this right now, and you're thinking to yourself, right, I would absolutely love to earn £250,000 in a year, which online fitness coaches can do, and they are doing. They're literally doing it right now. You're sat watching this video. There's people out there doing this. Okay. If you've got that goal, what's the plan to get to that goal? Don't just say, I want to earn this much. Don't just sit there and kind of manifest and think, right, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to earn $250,000. I'm going to hit a 10K month, 15K month, 20K month. Okay? Goal setting and manifestation only gets you somewhere if it's followed by action. And what a lot of people wait for is they wait for clarity and then they take action. You've got it completely wrong. You need to take action, and then taking action gives you the clarity you're looking for. Okay? It's the same thing as if you were, you know, walking into the woods and you were looking for a specific stream. I don't know. How would you know where the stream is if you don't go in the woods? You need to go in the woods first. You'll find the stream. You need to take action, then you get clarity. Okay, so if you're going to make a money goal, great. It has to be backed up with a plan. Okay, is there any inventory that I have laying around that I don't need? Spare iPads, Kindles, old phones you don't use, a car that you never fucking drive, clothes that are just pointless, just sat there gathering dust. You could do that. On the flip side to that, you know, have you had money sat in a savings account for years and years and years and years and years that's not doing anything? Again, gathering dust. Could be used to work with a mentor, could be used to actually invest back into yourself, into your skill sets to help that money to make more money, because that's essentially the way that it works, you know? Cool. Also, this is very important, I would spend time with people who talk about money freely. Now, I used to have very large money mindset issues. I gaslit myself into believing that I could never have money because I never came from money, you know? I grew up in a council estate. I grew up very, very poor. In fact, a lot of people don't know this, there was one point in my life I was actually homeless. And, you know, going through those experiences, it can leave a bit of a lasting impact on your beliefs around money, about the fact that money isn't infinite and that money doesn't grow on trees. It actually does, because money is technically made from trees. But the thing is that money will flow from those that value it least to those that value it most. I'm going to say that again. Money will flow from those that value it least to those that value it most. People who value money the most build a money plan. They watch trainings like this. They invest wisely. Okay? They ultimately will invest in skill sets that allow them then to continue to make more money. You know, I can think of some mentors that I worked with over the last 8 years, and a lot of their lessons, a lot of their teachings, I still use to this day. Great example of that. The first mentor that I ever worked with, jumped on a call, I wasn't earning a lot of money, right, I'd like £5,000 please, okay, here you go. I'm sat there nervous. That £5,000 that I invested into the first ever mentor that I work with is still making me money to this day. In fact, if I actually sat down and got my calculator out, that £5,000 probably made me £100,000. But a lot of people are so short-minded with that investment that they think, oh, well, I've not got the immediate buy-off, okay? You have to be patient. My financial advisor that I'm currently working with at the moment helped me to unlock that kind of belief that I had, that limiting belief that I had within myself, and helped me to understand that actually it's all about that snowball effect. You know, if I was to look into my other investments outside of mentoring, outside of kind of skill sets, you know, investing into some of the things that I broke down here earlier, if I can find it, but essentially investing into different areas, you know, ISAs, ICAs, pensions, etc. If I hadn't started doing that and then make those contributions every single month, my money wouldn't be making money. My money is basically printing money right now because I now am able to do that. But the only way that I've been able to get into a financial position so that my money can make money is by first investing in skill sets. So it literally goes like this. You've got money, so it goes like this, right? So you've got money, you invest in skill sets. You become more valuable. Because you become more valuable, you make more money. Because you've become more valuable and you've made more money, that more money can then be put into higher skill sets. And then once you get to a point where you've got that trampoline fund that we spoke about earlier, then we can go into like, right, pensions, ISAs, LISAs, property, etc., 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 etc. But if you're sat here thinking, where do I start? You just need to start. My opinion, where should you start? The easiest low-hanging fruit for everybody is just simply to actually start learning something. Once you start learning something, knowledge is power. Cool. So you also need to control the balance between what you need and what you want. What you need and what you want. Okay? You might want to go get a Starbucks every single day, or you might want to constantly buy yourself new gym clothes, or you may want to go out on the weekends and get smashed every single weekend, or there's a long list of things I can go into here. And you know, say about this what you will. I'm not going to sit here and say that people shouldn't treat themselves, but ultimately, if you want to earn more money, you're going to need to start being a little bit smart with that money. And probably one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given from a mentor is that if you were to sacrifice 1 year of your life, the next 9 years of your life, so that decade, the next 9 years of your life will be the most incredible 9 years you've ever experienced. Because you are allowing yourself to go like, right, this chapter or this phase of my life is head down, make money, earn money, invest money, grow money, so that the next 9 years can benefit from that. I'm talking directly to the mums and dads out there right now. If you do that for your children, the lasting impact is incredible. It really, really is, okay? So, if you are able to hang around people who value money, I promise you now, you will expand your horizons of that. I'll never forget the first time I went to a mastermind in America. I flew 11 hours to get there. I'm sat in the room. I'm surrounded by all these different entrepreneurs, all these different business owners. One of the talkers steps up on stage. He breaks down exactly how his business made £40 million in 1 year. When you hear people like that speak about business, it broadens your horizons for what's possible from your life. He was just a regular dude, very laid back, quite funny, pretty chill, bit introverted, made a few mistakes during his presentation. He was a regular human being, just like me or you. You know, I'll be completely transparent. If he was stood at the back of the room and I didn't know who he was, I would have thought, just another guy. But this guy's turning over 40 million every single year. Okay? And if you're sitting in your head doubting yourself thinking that you can't do it, you need to address that limiting belief first. Then use this training I've just taught you today to help your money to make more money. Okay? Perfect. Then, finally, guys, to wrap this up, you need to get your money productive. Like we've said, investments, courses, pay for speed of results. You need to invest in the SME 500. And ultimately, I want to leave this to last because I knew if I put this on the front end, it might even push people away. I've personally invested £150,000 into my business, okay? Into marketing expert, content experts, sales experts, mentors, masterminds, being in rooms that stretch me. Because I knew that by me learning these skills, absorbing these skills, putting my own spin on it, making mistakes, and then ultimately being able to improve my service, okay, improve for my clients, help them to make more money, that ultimately that's going to allow me to have far, far, far more success. And if there was one piece of advice that I'd leave you all on right now, that if you right now do not have anywhere between 1 to 3 years of a trampoline fund, sat in investments or sat in a bank account, you need to bite the bullet and you need to invest in yourself first things first. Invest in your skills. Whatever that looks like for you. Even if you start small with a few £100s, or you go, let's go for it like I did, and you just go for 5,000. Whatever that investment looks like for you, the only way that your money is going to make more money is by investing that money. That's the only way to do it, okay? Guys, remember, status and security are the two biggest drivers of cash flow. I'm going to let you guys think about that. Again, if you want my credit card guide of exactly how you can leverage wealth from using credit cards, then I'll link it in the description below. What I'll also link in the description down below is my link to my weekly email letters. So if you want to get on that and learn more about how you can make more money, then hit the link on that. And then finally, I'm also going to drop a link to our school platform. You can get started with your investment for a very, very reasonable price. Again, no contract, you're not going to be tackled into anything. If you check it out and you think, you know what, that sounds like a bit of me, that's fantastic, brilliant, we'll see you on the other side. If not, I'll see you in the next training. Take care, guys.